Hey everybody, welcome back to Three Corky Dudes. I am here with my buddies Jeff and Ben, and we got quite a show for you today. Our buddy Jeff is going to talk to us and interview one of our Instagram friends, Cork Connoisseur, and he will talk all about it in just a few moments.
That's right, Steve. Thank you. Yes, we're interviewing the Cork Connoisseur, Alec, in a few minutes. But before we do that and find out what he's drinking, I want to know what you and Ben are drinking. So, Steve or Ben, who would like to go first?
Steve, you can go first.
Oh, why, thank you, Ben, you nice guy, you. Anyway, let me talk about what I have here. This is from Saddlehill Cellars in winery down in Voorhees, New Jersey. You see the pretty label.
Beautiful.
The horsey on it. I like it very, very much. It's actually from a horse farm. That's where it started. And this here is called Starflower. And it is a combination of Traminette, Cayuga grapes, let's see what else, Vidal Blanc, and Chardonnay. And it's got great balance of sweetness and acidity. And that is my wine. How about you, Ben?
I've got a bottom shelf beauty. Spring Creek Chardonnay,
bottom shelf.
$4.25 on the price point here at the Dollar General.
You spare no expense for us.
That's right. I do have a couple of quick fun facts. Chardonnay, California is the biggest grape grower of Chardonnay in the United States. And in total, California grows about 85% of the grapes in the United States.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
That's a very nice fun fact.
That is.
And how about you, Jeff? What do you got in that bottle over there?
Well, there's Three Corky Dudes, and I didn't plan this with Steve, but I too have a white blend, and it is of 3 grape varietals. It is Carhartt Family Wines from the Central Coast, and the 3 grapes are 57% Viognier, 30% French Colombard, and 19%, does that add up? Nope, 13% Chardonnay. So that's nice. What's nice about this is, and when you talk to the winemaker, this is a unique blend of 3 grapes that would not be paired together, just kind of like us. You know, I don't think we would be friends normally on the street, but we met, and now we're friends, so it's great. Key lime, honeydew, melon, orange marmalade, $34. It is very nice, very refreshing for this warm summer weather. And now we have to find out who else is drinking, and that would be the Cork Connoisseur. Are you guys ready?
We are ready to bring them in when you are.
All right.
Salud and cheers.
All right. Welcome to the podcast, the Cork Connoisseur, Alec Bantel. Well, if you know anything about the Three Corky Dudes, we are Instagram friends. We've never met in person, and we always love drinking and sip, socialize, and share. And Alec, we love what you do on Instagram. Check out the Cork Connoisseur, and we wanted to have a drink with you. So with that, what are you drinking, Alec?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me tonight, guys. So I had to represent my home state here. We got some wine from Chateau Chantal, which is up in northern Michigan. Being from Michigan, again, you guys are going to learn a little bit about the hand today. So the mitt. So we got the mitt right here. And on the other side over here somewhere is where Ben lives, over in Wisconsin, but we don't really do the mitt over there. But we got the mitt here down in Detroit. That's about where I live, a little bit south of the thumb here. And then up here in the west side of the state tends to be the big wine region. So the Old Michigan, I got bended out a little bit here because you have the Grand Traverse Bay right here, but the Old Michigan kind of sits right up here. And it's a big area where there's a lot of wineries. I think, within a about 10-mile radius there, you have dozens, maybe almost 20 wineries now up there. So Chateau Chantal was one that we stopped at last week while we were up there for the holiday, and I brought back this bottle of Blanc de Blanc. So it's perfect summer wine. I think we were talking about summer. So I broke a little away from my traditional reds, but I think we'll enjoy a little refreshment in this humid weather in Michigan.
Funny, I think we all drink more reds than whites.
I think so too. But I'm growing more and more fond of whites as well.
Due to this podcast.
It's just the way it is. Really quick. do you have a lot of hybrids in Michigan? Hybrid grapes?
There are. I mean, obviously, in order for a lot of them to survive, there are some of the hybrids. They've been trying to bring a lot more recently. I think even, Ben, you're probably familiar with like even the Midwest, some of the Marquettes and some of those tend to be popping up a little bit more here. The Finger Lakes, especially recently, I've seen a lot of hybrids being growing there. So there is quite a bit, and it's interesting just some of the wines that you would never expect that they're trying up in the States. And I was even asking, like, when we were up there, like, they had some Pinot Noirs. I'm like, you guys are importing some of those grapes from other, and they're like, no, we're growing them right on the estates here. So it's kind of interesting seeing some of the grapes that they're trying to grow up in the little more harsh, weather that we have up in the northern part of the state.
Very cool. Very true, too, as well.
Well, Steve, thanks for that question, but that's what we're about to do on this podcast is uncork the cork connoisseur and ask those hard-hitting wine questions. So, Alec, with that, your first question is, why wine? Is this a hobby for you, or are you actually in the industry?
Yeah, no, I wish I was in the industry, but this is definitely a hobby. I mean, it's not just drinking. I had to try to justify just drinking wine by myself after a while, but let's call it a hobby, right? So I think we all can relate. We had to find somebody to drink with, so we had an excuse. So cheers to that. Yeah, so no, this is a hobby. I think as just kind of going back even as a child, I spent a lot of time in northern Michigan. My grandfather lived up there. So we spent summers up in that part of the state with my dad, my grandfather, my family. And at the time, a lot of the wineries had started kind of growing. They were getting a little more established. And one of the original wineries that was up there, unfortunately, they closed about a little bit less than a decade ago, called Boscadell. Up in Leland, Lake Leland was a city up there. They were one of the first ones to start actually kind of growing that grapes back in the mid 70s and the late 70s. I'm really focusing on trying to bring some of those French type wines. So right now you traditionally have some of the really high selling ones of like Rieslings that come out of that area. Still very well awarded ones, but they tend to be a little on the sweeter side. These were tend to be a little more drier, where they're reds, they're rosés, the whites, and a lot of that has kind of spurred just the ability to prove that they could go up there and grow wines and be successful. And now I think there's, I want to say probably close to 50 wineries. I mean, some obviously have shutter either within that region or south. If you start going less than 100 miles down.
Regional along the Lake Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, even up. We're going back to the hand here. Even up here in the Leelanau Peninsula, the majority of them kind of sit in there. You have the Old Mission Peninsula, which is there's a bay that's kind of up here, which is called the Grand Traverse Bay, which is an inlet which Traverse City, if you ever heard of it, it's kind of an inlet there. There's two sides of it. There's the Leelanau Peninsula, where there's 15 to 20 wineries. I don't know the number off the top of my head totally. And then you have a smaller peninsula that protrudes out, which is the Old Mission Peninsula, and they have to have 10 to 15 wineries themselves. So quite a bit up there. A lot of the old orchards as well turned into wine. They started growing grapes, or they still grow the fruit, and then they turn that into wine. So if you want to taste basically any type of fruit wine, you can get that up there too. Not my style, but there's a lot of whites and even some of the reds we were mentioning with the Pinot Noirs that are starting to try to grow up there.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Alec. You've got a lot of wineries down kind of like by Indiana, Chicago, kind of right across the border there too, right?
There are a little more north. You're talking probably, but it's still in a good area. I don't want to give too much credit because it kind of gets confusing because Grand Rapids tends to be like Beer City,
sure,
USA.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of, you guys are familiar with like Founders and Bell's. But within that region and that area, Paw is not too far from that. And that's where St. Julian's lives. They're a little bit more on the sweeter side, but they are actually the biggest winery in Michigan. So they are a little more south, of course, north of that Indiana border. But yeah, there's quite a few on the Lake Michigan side too, if you start kind of going a little bit south and towards that northern. But the majority of the concentration of them tend to be up more in that northern pinky area of the state.
Nice. Very good. So I guess that goes into, and you mentioned kind of bonding with your family, but I guess what was your first wine experience, and was that it, or?
Yeah, so I was trying to think of wine experience as in the first time I drank wine versus the first time doing it. So the first time experience was being on the vineyards, right, and going around, and even they would sit around and kind of talk about the different wines. The owner of the vineyard, would pull out everything he was making, whether it was ready to go or not, and just try to see if they liked it, right? So I'm not sure who drove us home, but I'm assuming one of the sober parents were driving. But so I just remember going through and running through those vineyards and those kind of misses that feel of that like hill and being able to see the lake from there. So all that kind of went in the back of my mind. I mean, probably back when I was younger, I was bored out of my mind. I was like, let's go. But I still remember that. So that always kind of stuck with me, and I've always wanted to go back up there. It's not just the wineries, but that area is so beautiful in the country. And I always try to make a special trip just to go back there to kind of live some of my childhood. And now I'm old enough to drink, so it makes it a little bit better. If you want to talk about wine experience, I think like anybody, right, we kind of started with either what our parents bottle they opened on the table, or you learned in college when wine, like the gallons of like Carlo Rossi were way cheaper than if you really wanted to get like a 30-pack of Busch Light. So you want to diversify what you're drinking for the night. So I think a couple handles of Carlo Rossi were like probably where it started, because those things were like $15. And you have diversity of wine. You got some Sauvignon Blanc, or you got some, we could try everything. And if we didn't like it, we'd have something different tomorrow. So those are probably some of my early wine experiences, but I've become much more refined from then. Franzia too, let's be honest. I don't want to knock Franzia.
My parents gave me wine, but does it count in college wine coolers?
Oh,
that's what I did. Ben, what did you do?
Yeah. We did a lot of the slap of the bag with the Franzia, with the wine. We shouldn't get. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with my drinking stories or anything like that. So
I think we need a podcast of explanation of how do you slap the bag, because I'm picturing bag.
Yeah, the bag.
Oh yeah, you slap it while The one thing I will say is there's a party that we were at. Probably, I don't know, we were probably of age-ish. And it was the first time I learned that not all champagne is white. So one of our friends decided we bought bottles of champagne, right? It's New Year's, and he was going to spray everybody. Well, needless to say, we all came in and we were not, everything was dyed, right? So I was, talking about this before we got on, this jacket being, having to get dry cleaned. But yeah, he had bought rosé champagne. And needless to say, that was how I found out that, I don't know if it was champagne, it probably wasn't champagne, but it was some sort of bubbly. Needless to say, that was when I found out that they make other type of bubbly that's not white. Good learning experience.
Nice. And so with that, was that your favorite wine adventure, or what was your favorite wine adventure?
Yeah, no, being sprayed with wine was not my favorite. I mean, honestly, I would always go back to, I've taken 2 trips to Tuscany. Ooh, you never feel like you can ever leave without like it being enough. And the people there and just like what they do to make you feel like you're a part of that, and just like give you like all the wines and talk about the story. They're very like thoughtful about what they pair it with. I mean, even when we were there, I would go through the list. They give you a book, like a binder of wine. And this is if you don't want to just go to the self-serve, where there's just like every bottle, I mean, tons of bottles you could just like buy. I would go through this thing and I'm just overwhelmed, right? Like there's so many wines, and I'm like, this is the right price point. These are people we're kind of with. I think I want this wine, and they won't hesitate to tell you like, no, don't waste your money. Buy this cheaper bottle. It's 10 times better. It's not even about the money or anything like that. It's just about the pride in which the bottle is. They want you to get the best one or the better one. And it's part of the culture there. That's all I can say. And there's no place like it.
So with that, whether it was in Michigan or Tuscany, what's the most expensive bottle you've had? And was it worth it?
Yes. That's a tough question. The most expensive bottle I've ever had, I believe, I have to look back. It was definitely a Brunello that my wife and I got. We had this one dinner that I think we were in Seattle. So which is, again, I mean, not like wine country. They have a great wine region. There's so many great wines that come out of Washington and Oregon. But we were just like one of those nights. It was like market price, basically like fresh catch of the day and all of these things. So we're just like, we're going to like live big. I would say, was it worth it? I definitely paid the bill, like not looking at it, and handed the guy my credit card and then just ended up signing the tip. I've had so many Brunellos that I bought like at stores, and I have set aside that like I would say that those were better. But I think just the ambiance and living for it that night, I wouldn't regret doing it. But I still cringe trying to think about how much that bottle costs as well as that dinner.
Plus, I was going to say, did you pair it with seafood? Because you're on Seattle. So good for you.
Yeah.
I always say red wine goes with seafood. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were just enjoying ourselves. We got what we wanted, right? It was the market price crab, the stone crab, all the stuff that, like, it was market price. I didn't bother to ask what market price was. So, again, it's one of those just you just don't want to look at the bill. But yeah, I agree. Again, it's like anything, right? People say white wine goes with fish or, whatever, it's what you like. And I think you could drink white wine with pasta if you want. And I think that's what it's more about than judging it.
Yeah, I think Ben is the only one who doesn't have a body of water near him to get fresh.
Got a Mississippi River, the third largest river in the world.
River.
I don't know how many crabs I've eaten out of that river.
Well, you can't eat crab out of it.
It comes from the Atlantic Ocean. Mississippi River comes through the Great Lakes, but yeah, what is crawfish there? Fresh crawfish?
Crawfish. Yeah, we got some crawfish, I guess. It's not like down in Louisiana, down on a bon ton or nothing like that.
Ooh, well, you got the qualifier.
Catfish.
You guys got some carp, right? You got some carp and stuff.
Carp, yeah.
Ooh, you're speaking my language because of my religion. You can make some good gefilte fish with carp. Go, Steve.
I was going to say, one of my favorite bits is Sebastian Maniscalco. He says, why Italians need to cater Jewish affairs. Did you ever watch that?
I watch it. Remind me. I do watch him. I don't want
to get into it, but it's just so great. He goes, they come to the table and they read. Who reads at the table? Let's eat.
That's one religious holiday, really. But yeah, it's crazy. We do allow it.
Fantastic.
So, Alec, you said that you're most expensive, but you and your wife, you're at home, or you went to the supermarket, got some ingredients to cook. What is your favorite under $20 bottle of wine? Your guilty pleasure wine. We all have one.
Oh, yeah. What's filled with my fridge right now is Kirkland Chianti Classico. Oh, my God. The prices they have on that. And then I don't know if you guys have seen, I found out on all Chianti bottles, you actually have traceability.
Yeah.
And they have a lookup online. Really? So you can actually trace back whoever produced it for that year back to the actual winery.
I didn't know that.
And it will actually tell you who made that, so I mean, I know it's like you see Kirkland, it's like, oh yeah, it's the Costco thing, but like these are great bottles, and I can open one of those up at any point, and I'll be happy.
It's just a label at that point, really.
It is. It's sad because Michigan. I know, Alec. Do you have access? I have access to Costco and Trader Joe's. Ben does not, and Steve, do you have access to Costco?
I do.
But you don't have access to Trader Joe's.
I have Trader Joe's, Costco, BJ's, I got it all.
I thought Trader Joe's doesn't sell wine for you, right?
They don't sell wine, but I have access to the Trader Joe's.
That's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, that's only one of the reasons I go to Trader Joe's and the Dunkers. Right. And I wouldn't be able to do it without both.
I think Total Wines over here. Total Wines, Wines World, Gary's Wines and Liquors, and wine all you want. You can't buy it here.
Wants out Instagram handle.
Everything's. Hey, I got a question. I got a question for Alec, really quick. Now I'm going to ask you, coming from a guy who, let's pretend I have no idea who you are, what you do, right? So, how long have you been on Instagram, and what kind of things you post up there?
Yeah, so please, anybody check out the page. So it's at Cork Connoisseur. So really what I've tried to do with that page is I really tried to originally highlight a lot of the wine regions I think that get overlooked, right? Because there's so many areas in this country that you really don't realize that there's wine. And it's within even a 5-hour drive of myself. Some of the greatest wineries are up in northern Michigan. You have great wineries late in the Finger Lakes. You have a lot in Ontario around the Niagara region. So I kind of started doing that. Even Ohio, which again, being from Michigan, too much bragging about Ohio or Pennsylvania. But I digress. But what I end up really realizing, what resonated with people was kind of talking about wine culture and everything we can relate to. So really recently what I've tried to do is try to kind of make it more of into like a culture thing, where I started kind of just saying, what is it that relates with wine? When do I want wine? What are 5 things that would relate with wine? Like today I put one that was about what type of vacation you like. That might be the type of wine that you like. So just things like that I think are just fun and think you talk about when you have wine, rather than just like, here's the bottle I had today, I liked it, here's what the rating is. And I'm not knocking anybody who does that. I just feel like the type of conversation I want to have is a little bit more about like relatability with other people and what wine means to them.
Yeah. You post some great stuff. I always love it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So you talked a little bit about like kind of your favorite like go-to wine when you're drinking at home. You talked about your most expensive wine. What about your favorite Michigan wine?
Ooh, great question.
That is a tough one. That is a tough one. So I will say that my favorite wine of all time will still be those bottles that I was able to get from the Boscadell Winery before they closed. So we went up there at the time. I mean, I did not have the kind of money that that I thought I'd be able to just spend on cases. And myself and my dad took 2 separate trips, and we still try to open bottles of wine during special holidays and special events, which is always so much fun. And again, I really do like some of the wines. Like it's a red that some of the like French reds and some of the rosés that I just can't find anywhere else from Michigan or even try to compare it to. So some of those and just being able to have that moment, those will always be my favorites. Some of my favorite places to visit, Leelanau Cellars is really this beautiful location they have right on the lake where you can sit there, drink wine, taste wine, but overlook this like vast area that goes out into Lake Michigan and those areas. Chateau Grand Traverse has a great diversified types of wines, which are really high quality. Those two I would always say that'd be kind of the 1 or 2 if anybody's coming to Michigan or up in that area to try, and then you can kind of work your way from there, because if you go north or south from those locations, you're going to pass 5 or 6 that you can go try as well and see if you like those better.
Nice. Well, cool. Wait, I do have one last question, which will lead into our next feature here. Alec, you talk so much about wine. Have you gone for any certification?
I have not. I actually looked into doing my first step into a sommelier. I still think I want to do that, but I do think that what I want to do is still not take the bias, because what I do find when you start, and it's not a knock on anybody who has certifications or people who specialize in that area, but I do still want to make sure that I'm talking. I don't want to come off like the professor who's telling everybody about wine, right? So if you are searching my opinion, or we're having a conversation, or my thoughts, but I don't want to tell you like, I just don't want to bias myself into not being relatable anymore. So that's kind of, I think I'll do it one day. I just got to find time to do it.
I am right there with you.
Well, then in that case, it's time to quiz Alec and the rest of you. Steve, Ben, do you want to talk about the wine quizzes or the challenges?
Sure, everybody. What, Ben, you want to bring us in or no?
You got it.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it. Well, listen, on your phones, everybody needs to grab your phone and open your app, the Winelikes app. And if you don't have the Winelikes app, I suggest you get it, and you get it right now. Go ahead, we'll wait.
Available on the iOS and Android store.
That's right. iOS, the Apple Store, and the Android Store. And you guys can get this app. It's great. It's got a lot of quizzes, got pairings, got Windle, all kinds of games. You got to try it. Give it a shot right now. We're going to do a quiz on it. And Jeff, our wine master, is going to lead us into this with a Winelikes Three Corky Dudes. Oh, yeah.
Well, sadly, Alec, I don't have a Michigan wine quiz up there, but if you come back, I will. But since we talked about WSET or wine certification, there is a quiz called WSET Level 1. 8 easy questions. So let's see, because I know Ben's a WSET 2 now or 1?
Wow.
2. I'm a 2. And Steve's just a winemaker, which he doesn't discuss a lot, which everyone should give credit to, because that's a lot harder than what we do. And then let's go from there.
I'm interested.
Really quick. What we're going to do something a little different. We tried buzzers. We tried this. We tried and everything else. Didn't work. So if you have your glass out, right? And what happens is you get it wrong, you have to sip, once? And if you get it right, you have to sip twice, because you want to drink more wine. And in order for you to answer the question first, it's a matter of whoever dings with the...
All right.
Okay, here we go. You ready? All right, Jeff.
Are you guys ready?
Take it away.
Question number 1. What does WSET stand for? WSET, Wine Sales and Education Trust, Wine and Spirits Education Trust, Wine Society and Experiment Trust, Wine Sampling and Evaluation Trust. Steve?
And Spirit Education Trust.
Alec or Ben, who's next?
I'm going to concur with Steve.
Alec?
That was my first guess too.
You all get 2 sips.
All right.
Ben, 2. Ben's notoriously doesn't drink that much.
So he's got to run a mile after
right.
this.
Oh,
So.
I gotta be.
He's actually in his office at work. I don't know how they let him do it. Which grape is most associated with Burgundy, France? A. Syrah, B. Merlot, C. Chardonnay, or D. Pinot Noir? Ding in first. Oh, I see Alec. Yes, Alec.
Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir.
Okay, maybe.
I'm gonna concur.
I'm going to concur.
Yeah. Again, easy questions, but these are actual questions on the WSET1 test. So.
We need to take it now.
Nice, I know. And so because Alex drinking a bubbly or carbonated beverage there, what is the primary grape used in the production of Prosecco? A. Chardonnay, B. Glera, C. Pinot Noir, D. Riesling.
I'm gonna say Glera.
Next, take your time, guys.
Yeah, I'm going with that.
All right, which of the following best describes tannin? You all know what a tannin is in your wine? Is it a flavor found in white wines? Is it the sweetness of a wine? Is it the bitter astringent taste primarily found in red wine? Or is it a type of grape? Don't all jump at once. Yeah, Steve, we know you were first.
I'm first. No. Bitter astringency. Taste in wine. The bitter astringency in wine.
Yep. Nope. Well, I already gave it away. I said yep.
Yep. No, yeah, well, I seconded after you said yep, so I figured I got the right answer. So that's 2 steps, right?
Yeah. All right. Oh, this next question is Steve's favorite word. What does the term terroir mean? The type of grapes used? B, the fermentation process? C, the overall taste of wine? Or D, the environmental factors that affect a wine?
Now I'm trying to remember all the questions.
Ben,
What? D, the environment, the terroir.
Alec,
There it is. Yep. Going with D as well.
I'm right there with them.
you are all right. By the way, it's hilarious because all of you already ate dinner and are going to bed, and I still have to eat dinner with the time change.
You're
So
cooking like this.
it's all these 2 sips.
You'd be like,
I mean, is there any other way to cook than with a bottle of wine or a half of a
That's
bottle
the
of
Midwest
wine?
way of thinking right there.
In which country would you find the wine region of Rioja? A, Portugal, B, Italy, C, Spain, D, France.
I didn't hear all those. Sorry. Can you repeat the 4?
Do you not know where Rioja is?
It's Spain, right? Did you say Spain?
I did say Spain.
Yeah. I didn't hear Spain. That's why I didn't know. I was like, am I going to say it wrong? I
it
didn't
was
hear
Spain.
Spain out of the 4, and I heard Portugal. It's not there.
Has anyone been to Rioja yet? No, I want
I
to.
was like, I hope it's on the list. I'm going to say Spain. That was not one of the 4.
All right. Ready? Which wine is traditionally associated with Bordeaux, France? A, Chardonnay, B, Cabernet Sauvignon, C, Riesling, or D, Pinot Noir? Really? It takes you that long to figure out what Bordeaux, France?
Well, we already answered the question a little earlier. So it's Pinot Noir. Oh, Burgundy. Okay. I got Bordeaux.
Chardonnay.
Ben,
Sure, Chardonnay. That sounds good.
are you
I thought it was Pinot. I thought it was Pinot Noir.
Are you okay? All 3 of you are really Bordeaux. Has anyone had a Bordeaux?
Yes. What is it again? Say it again.
White bank Bordeaux is primarily Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot.
Cab Sauv.
Left bank is Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon. It's Cabernet Sauvignon.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
You guys
We're sorry we got the
so much-
question wrong.
I'm not certified, so I have a pass here.
Wow, I need to teach you guys old world wines. We need a
Or the
Got that.
WSET 14 here. So, you know.
what?
Wow.
Ooh, all right. Well, you all know that I'm very sexy and I have a great body. But in the context of wine, what is body? The shape of the bottle, the size of the grape, the weight and fullness of the wine, or the color of the wine?
I'm gonna go with shape of the bottle.
I can't. You're fucking okay. Go, Steve.
Wait.
Alec,
I'm going with weight.
Ben, you said you're a W set too.
Yeah, I was kidding. Come on, it's the
I
weight
don't
and
think so.
the feel of the wine in your mouth. Come on,
All right, and that's your questions. That's your quiz.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Well, speaking of fun, shameless plug, the Winelikes app is a lot of fun.
Yes.
But you know who's fun? Alec. We loved getting to know you, and we have so many more questions for you. I think there should be a part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah.
Happy to join you guys.
But
But we come back on. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Before we go, you want to tell us where our audience where they can find you?
Yeah, so please, if you're interested in finding some of the content I have, my handle is cork_connoisseur on Instagram, and I also can be found on Facebook and X and how many other TikTok. I was even on Blue Sky for a minute, so if you really want to dig deep, you can find me on Blue Sky as well. But
very cool. Very cool. How about you, Ben?
Wine Mile, wine_mile on Instagram and YouTube. We got a big wine mile coming up on Saturday. We're all trained up for, so there we go.
I didn't get that invitation.
I invited you several times. It'll be virtual out in California.
Yeah.
Ben, when is Wine Marathon? So we can every 26 miles have a bottle.
Yeah.
How many bottles you drink? I'm ready for that one. Let's just jump past the mile. Let's go to a marathon.
When's the Detroit Marathon? That's got to be coming up soon.
That's
October. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Can I state your place?
Maybe let's start at the half marathon with wine, and then maybe we'll make our way to the full marathon.
I'm just going to stay at your place. I'm just going to ring the doorbell and show up right before.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Detroit Marathon does go to Canada and comes back, so I'm not sure how that works when you go across the border with a bottle of wine. But finish at one border, come back, finish the bottle, and then finish.
25% tax either way.
How about you, Jeff?
I was going to say, by the way, we should all meet. There's a Napa Sonoma marathon that instead of water breaks, it is wine breaks. It's pretty fun, I hear. I want to try. Sorry, Steve, thank you for that lovely question. Well, if you know anything about me, I have an app called the Winelikes App, which is also my handle on Instagram. So you can find me on the app or you can find me on Instagram there. I'm on all of the other social medias, but I'm usually more on Instagram and on my own app. Steve, what about you, Mr. Stomping?
You can find me at Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at NJ Stumps to Grape, as well as my blog about New Jersey wines at Stump to Grape and njstumpstogrape.com. So check it out.
Also, if you want to reach all three of us, that's the Three Corky Dudes on Instagram, or email 3 spelled out Corky Dudes. You can come on this podcast if you want. You can quiz us. You can submit a quiz on the Winelikes app and enjoy some wine with us as we sip, socialize, and share.
Cheers.
So next time, guys, salud. Thank you, Alec.
Thank you, Alec. Yeah, great.
Cheers, guys.